Mr. Ted Maulucci.
How you doing, Gary?
How are you, man?
Good, good.
Cool. So tell me what's cool about this year's show. What's got your eye?
I mean, a lot of things. It's amazing just to see how the industry's moving forward. It's great to connect with all your peers. You know, I came here with a specific problem to solve, and I'm working on that, so it's been all good.
What's the problem?
The problem was IT governance within the company, and coming up with an IT governance strategy that would work, and just talking to different people facing that same situation.
And what's one of the fixes that you guys, what's a watchword that every one of us could start to look at if we were trying to fix that situation ourselves?
Well, the biggest watchword is culture, and what's the culture of the organization, and how do I align to it? But there's a specific area I wanted to chat with you about today.
Yeah.
Something that I see happening across North America. So we generally have an aging population, and everybody knows the cost of healthcare going up. So we have a crisis. So how are we going to deal with it? We need more nursing staff. We don't have the money to pay for it. In hospitals, we're seeing tremendous growth. We're seeing the adoption of IP networks. But one of the areas where we build in, which is senior residences, it's not happening.
What's not happening?
We're not getting the infrastructure that we need for the future.
The wireless infrastructure, or
both?
all?
So there's
Okay.
two levels. I spend a lot of time working with different universities, and you see where the research is, and the research is in sensor networks. So everybody always laughs when you say there's a smart toilet seat. You sit down, it can take your vitals. They have smart underwear, believe it or not, the military use that can monitor the vitals. You have all these sensors that can actually keep track of how a person is doing. They have cameras that can sense someone's fallen down and they haven't moved. They have smart floors.
Wow.
As well as you have all the wireless technologies you're talking about. Healthcare practitioners are carrying tablets. All those things are the answers to help solve the issue of the aging population, and how do I look after people and let technology assist me? Now, what's the problem? The problem is the buildings that we're building are not consistently being built with the infrastructure to support those things.
Got it.
So I wanted to use the opportunity today to pass that message along, that the answer to help solve the crisis that's coming forward, it's there. The problem that we're having is that we're not consistently building the infrastructure. We're not putting it in the buildings, and there's not a good reason why.
I mean, well, look, if I'm building a building and you say smart floors, we don't know a lot about them, you know, how are you going to incentivize me to take a gamble on smart floors?
You know what's interesting is it ends up not even being a gamble. So we're in the middle of building a building right now, a seniors building. If you converge the infrastructure, it does not cost you more money.
Really?
Does not cost you more money.
Hold on, Ted. If you're going to put sensors under a floor, you know that's got to cost more than just a plain floor.
It does. When you need that service, you pay for that service. That's not the issue.
Okay.
The issue would be, in the future, you know you're going to do that. Sensors are cheap. The cost of sensor technology is going down further and further and further. So if you think about this, and this is the vision, I think, the vision that we should all latch into. Picture a smart home. Everyone does smart home platforms to make blinds go up and down, control energy. How do I make a smart home platform become a virtual nurse? Think about it. You have the elements there. You have a platform. You have a device I can connect any sensor to. Through Wi-Fi, through Zigbee. I can connect a smart toilet seat. I could put a sensor that says the fridge opened. Very easy. That now connects back to a central server. That server, I can now run analytics against that sensor. The smart home platform now has a visual interface for the homeowner, either on the wall or on a smart TV. Give all those elements to a researcher and say, how can you use those three elements to allow someone to stay in the home longer? It's wide open. And that's where the researchers need to go. And that's actually not where they need to go. That is where they're going. And that's the promise for the future. Right? So I always share the story about the fall down camera. I showed that to one of my bosses at the office. And he goes, I love that. He goes, my mom is in this home. She has one of these panic things. She falls down, she won't push the button because she doesn't want to bother anybody.
Right, I've heard that before.
You know, so it's like, but you don't need that. If you put the right things in place, you don't need that, and that's that opportunity. So my pitch is actually, I hope that across North America, we do not produce another building, another seniors facility Without the network, without the ubiquitous Wi-Fi, without those things that we need, and we know we're going to need them in the future.
That's a pretty cool call to arms. You want us to build, well, it's what we talked about last year, actually. You just are really passionate about getting people to build smart buildings, but it sounds like now you're focusing even more on making sure that the infrastructure is there for future use.
Absolutely.
We
need it. We need it. It's the call to action. If we don't do it, all this research, all this possibility, we're not going to be able to take advantage of it.
If someone's passionate about this and they want to sort of join your crusade here, how should they stay in touch?
Connect with me. Connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'll share everything that I have. There's new business models, new business case. It does not cost more money. It just makes sense.
Very cool. Ted Maulucci, always an enlightening pleasure. Thank you very much for being on.